Hey, what's up, guys? Come on in, grab yourself a seat, grab a beer if you can drink. If not, grab your chocolate milk because we're the Juicebox heroes.
Just grab a beer anyway, we won't tell.
Yeah, I'm joined, obviously I'm Cody, but I'm joined by
Obviously Parker.
by the illustrious Peckerhead.
Peckerhead.
But we're in store for just a wonderful, joyous podcast today. We got a little bit of things to talk about, some cool stuff, some gaming stuff, some movie stuff, some TV stuff, some YouTube
stuff.
drama stuff.
Some stuff.
The
Drama
good
alert.
stuff. Yeah, drama alert. DJ Keemstar. But so let's talk about it. Let's just dive into the elephant in the room. What about this YouTube restriction? You know a lot about it. I have no real clue about any of it. I just have my own opinions.
Yeah, so I watched a couple of videos explaining it, and I've read a couple articles explaining it. And from what I gather, is the restricted mode. I guess it's been like this for a while, but people just now figured out. So it like caught fire. There's a restricted mode on YouTube? Obviously, everybody knows that. But the restricted mode also it blocks out the gay, the transgender community. It blocks out their videos, specifically ones talking about like coming out or that sort of thing, or like living when you're young and like holding that secret like that in their lives like that. They blocks some of that out. And what YouTube's response was, and like there's like one response they did, and it's really not that great of a response either. They're trying to shoo it away, but basically it's saying that it's always been that way because there's a small part of YouTube viewers that don't want their children seeing things like that.
Right.
And pretty much saying like, they don't want them to, for whatever reason, there's multiple reasons. I guess you wouldn't want your kids seeing that stuff, but or somebody would anyway. Not that I don't see the big deal. And like, what if they see stuff like that? They're going to decide on their own anyway.
Right.
So, so everybody's freaking out about that sort of thing. And there's a lot, but it doesn't just block that stuff out. It blocks out a lot of other stuff, but because it's like caught fire that they're discriminating against. They're saying they're discriminating against the gay and transgender community. That is like a big deal, and it is a big deal. But it blocks out a lot of stuff, just not that.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always been a big fan of freedom of speech. Don't censor for the most part. I believe people should be able to say what they want to say. Maybe that's a bad opinion, but I don't like somebody to tell me what I can and cannot say in any situation. In some cases, it is necessary, for public opinions and things like that. But for the most part, kids are getting exposed to things younger and younger, if they don't find it out on YouTube, maybe that's a better way to find it out, because then they question things and they can find it out instead of being exposed to that kind of thing,
just thrown into it.
Yeah, just thrown into something like that. Maybe it's better, maybe it's honestly better for them to experience things like that. But at the same time, I think it's a lot of Google, keeping like basically saying, here's what can go on our website and what can't. Basically, they have the right to do that. They own the website. They can do what they want, obviously, because they own the rights to it.
I'm kind of conflicted because I could see. Obviously, okay, if your child watches, children are more accepting than adults are for the most part.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if your child watches a video where a gay man or a gay woman or a transgender person is talking about their life or that sort of thing, about their troubles of being because of the way they are to get discriminated against and stuff, like they watch one video like that, they're not going to fucking be like all of a sudden be like, oh, well, I think I'm gay. It's either going to be that they're like that or not.
Right.
It's not something that you watch one video on YouTube and all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I'm definitely this. It's not like that.
Right.
But at the same time, I guess there's some people that can make a case for you don't want children, like really young children, seeing that just because it's an adult topic, more of an adult topic, I guess.
But it's something in the world that's not going away. It's something. It's becoming normal. Like how it's always been kind of this taboo before. Nobody really talked about it, and you never really heard anything. But in the past couple of years, it's really starting to boom up, and it's becoming more accepted, I guess, as a social norm, I guess. And I think it's something that, for the most part, it's going to be like, just like anything. Like it's going to be just a normally accepted thing. There's always going to be people, pushing back on something because they don't necessarily feel that way. But I think, me personally, you should live the way that you want to live, if it makes you happy, then what's wrong with it?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they need to come up with a better solution, because they're pretty much saying that it's just for, for young children, for parents to kind of have like a parental control mode or something. Maybe they should come up with a different option to where, if your kid likes going on YouTube and watching, like, because there's videos of like cartoons, and there's YouTube channels that are just like built for kids, like toy opening stuff. Kids love watching that type of stuff, right? So maybe like make a system to where, like a mode to where you can go in and select what like channels you want them to watch. I mean, maybe that's a way to do it without discriminating against certain stuff.
What is it on Netflix? They have Netflix Kids section.
Yeah, there's something like
where
that.
there's there's certain programs that aren't allowed to be on that part.
Yeah, like they get approved to be for
Yeah, so maybe that's a solution, but I think it's all just I think it's something that everybody needs to be exposed to, because it's something that's not going away.
Yeah,
and it's something that's becoming a normalization in our society nowadays. It's something that we can't change. You cannot change it.
And one would even argue that them seeing that, like, when they're younger and understanding it more, like, would stop the discrimination that's going on. Like in the future, when those kids grow up, they've seen it. You know what I mean? So they understand it, and they understand those people more than whether you've been like told your whole life that it's bad, and all of a sudden you see somebody like that. I mean, you know what I mean? So maybe it's a good thing if they could see it. But then again, there is, some, not all YouTubers, they're, in this, gay transgender community, not all of them also talk about kid-friendly topics. I mean, it'd be different if, like I'm saying, like sometimes they might cuss a lot, some, that sort of stuff I understand. Or they want to talk about some like really adult things. I mean, that's fine, to be in like the kid, not in the kids mode or whatever. But the ones that actually just talk about, try to help people growing up with it and stuff, and like share their story, I don't see the problem with kids seeing that. Like I said, seeing that, like, I don't know why people think a kid seeing that is going to make them be like, oh, actually, I decided to be gay now. It's either they're going to be or they're not.
Yeah, it's not something that you just decide one day. And I'm a big believer of this, because a lot of people will believe that you make that decision, and I don't think it's a decision that you make. I think you're kind of hardwired, as you grow up, and maybe it could be something where you're influenced in one way or the other. But for the most part, I think that,
Well, I mean, if you can't, here's the thing though. Here's what I think is, like, you're born that way. Okay. How are you going to, like, if even if you're making the decision, like, I'm not going to be that way, I'm going to try to be, for whatever reason, you think your parents are, look down on you, whatever. You don't want to be discriminated against, whatever. Like, it's pretty much comes down to what are you sexually attracted to? What are you attracted to in general? You know what I mean? Like, you can't force something if you're not attracted to the person,
right?
And especially if you're a dude, because how you can't force. I mean, I guess you can't force an erection.
Yeah,
but still, I mean, who's going to go buy Viagra and be like, oh, I'm going to do it just because?
Right. Yeah. It's. I mean, it's just something. I don't know. It's a weird subject. It
is a weird subject, but the thing is, nobody should be discriminated against at all. No,
I mean, you're born how you are, and you can't, for the most part, change that. Maybe. The people that have they struggle with the fact that maybe they identify as somebody else, there's ways to change that. But I think inside you're always who you're supposed to be, and you shouldn't be told that you're wrong, just because of that, there should be no discrimination. I think it's ridiculous that in a society come as far as we have, that there's still this resistance to people just accepting people for who they want to be and who they are. And I think it's something that, unfortunately, it's probably never going to go away, because there's always going to be hate in the world.
Yeah. I mean, well, look at what black people still go through. Yeah. And that's been forever. You know what I mean? Right. So, I mean, it sucks. I mean, we're making progress as a society and things are getting a lot better, but it takes a while for all the ignorant people to go away, to die off, or to finally understand,
Right.
But as long as there's nothing like, like a bunch of cussing or something like that the parent like reasonably wouldn't want a young child to see, I don't see why it would have to be in, where you couldn't see it in restricted mode. But like restricted mode, like I said, it goes towards everything. Like if you were in restricted mode and went to our channel, I bet there's not a fucking video in there, because we cuss nonstop, and we talk about stupid shit. Like, I guarantee you, like, it would show like us not having any videos, because that's what it does. So say you have it on and you go look at somebody's like a pretty popular YouTuber, you go to their channel. If it's somebody that talks about adult themes and curses a lot, it just looks like they don't have any videos on there.
Yeah, it's like I don't think restricted mode in quotation marks is an effective way to do it. I think if you see if you know you have pre-knowledge of something being inappropriate, you should just go block the channel, from being watched. And you can do that. You can block the channel from being watched altogether on that account. But you can't say, just block it out completely, because what if somebody makes one video talking about it? Like, they make one video that has that stuff in it, but everything else is like Minecraft and sunshine,
Yeah. Like, I think the best, and we already mentioned it, I think the best way that YouTube could do something like that without, discriminating against people, whether they're doing it on purpose or whether they're doing it on, not on purpose, on accident or whatever.
Yeah.
Is just to do like a kids mode where even if you make one to where, a parent could put in like a little code and go in and say, yeah, this is approved. They can watch this, they can watch that. Mm-hmm. And then, it has to be approved or whatever. I mean, it might actually work for the parents, but the parents are so concerned anyway, then that, I'm sure they wouldn't care to do that.
Right.
But we should say restricted mode isn't the norm. Like if you went to your YouTube right now, unless, you have a parent and a parent that turned it on, you wouldn't even know, it wouldn't be on. It's an option.
Right.
So that's why it hasn't been like really noticed before. Like, people knew it was a thing, but didn't know what it did. But now people are really seeing that, wait a second, it's kind of messed up. They're, blocking all that when they're not really doing, especially the ones, like I said, the ones that aren't cussing or anything like that. If they're just talking about, their lifestyle, if they're talking about, trying to help young people, then I don't see what the big deal is.
Yeah. Yeah, so the restricted mode it's just not the way to go. I don't think. I think you should just block the channels individually that you want. But let's move on to I guess one of the biggest things in gaming right now is the talk of Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, I've seen this, and I've seen what the people complain about. Like, it's like the facial features of the characters.
Yeah,
looks a little outdated to say the least.
They what the story is that they brought in someone who had no experience in animation, and made them like the head designer or something. So everything it comes out looking like more like it's like 10 years out of date. Like the facial features and the movement and stuff. It looks like something out of something you would have saw on like a Wii launch title or, a 360 launch title, like back in the day.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's really out of date. But at the same time, I mean, it's not really, I don't know why it's something to be complained about. I mean, maybe if you're a diehard fan, maybe it takes you out of it a little bit. But for me, if I'm a diehard fan of a series, I'm more focused on what's going on in the story. Because like take Halo 1, for example. Halo 1 back on the Xbox looks like trash now compared.
Yeah.
But I can still play it and enjoy the game because I'm engulfed in the story, But a lot of people, like these days, people are focused too much on graphics and stuff like that rather than if the game is good.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like we're in a spoiled day and age now. So I feel like people are just expecting that all the time to be perfect. You know what I mean? And the one time it's not, then it's a big deal. And I mean, maybe you have some right, I guess, if that's what you want, like in a game. I guess. I mean, maybe you have some right to do it, or maybe if you're an animation guy, like I bet there's people that do animation that makes them cringe. You know what I mean? To see shit like that, and especially in a big title like that. But really, it sucks that that's like been a focus of that game here recently because. Like storyline wise and all kinds of stuff, I've heard the game's pretty good overall.
Right.
But it feels like most people aren't even talking about how good the rest of the game is. As they're talking about that.
Yeah.
So that's a little disappointing, especially for somebody that probably like had nothing to do with that part, but was working really hard and was getting the storyline to connect and everything to work right and everything and the gameplay to work right.
Right.
And then you get in and it's like, oh well, they're talking about this fucking animation guy that fucked up. But,
yeah. It's a weird situation. I mean, if you're into the graphics and stuff, more power to you. If that's what makes you enjoy a game, more power to you. But I think we're in a situation now where you have these games from big budget AAA developers that are like, knocking it out of the park, with these with the graphics, the gameplay, and things like that. And when something is subpar, and I think it's pushed more by social media, pushed more by bigger YouTubers and things like that complaining about it, that makes it a bigger deal than it actually is.
Yeah, and
reviewers and things like that. It makes it a bigger deal than it needs to be. Honestly,
the sad thing is though, is those people that like review stuff or or just people playing, like big YouTubers playing the game. They know that complaining is going to get more attention than praising something.
Right.
So I mean, at the same time, I mean, I'm not saying any specific people did that, but I mean, in general, people do that. Like they find something to complain about something. I mean, like we were talking about this the other day. I told you I was scrolling through like a Legend of Zelda fan page, right? And everybody loves Breath of the Wild. Yeah, there's every game. The game's not going to be completely perfect,
right?
But there's people, like a couple people in there, just like being like, Breath of the Wild is the worst fucking game, Zelda game in the fucking, they're trying to get attention. You know what I mean?
Just
and they know,
attention.
yeah, they know people will do that. I'm sure there's a YouTuber somewhere that's like, is Breath of the Wild really this good? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm sure clickbait all over the place.
But so with that being said, it sucks in this day and age that like, we expect everything to be perfect for one, which I mean, I guess I can see that a little bit, but I don't see why it's such a big deal if something's a little off like that. It's not like you can't fucking play the game.
Yeah, because what I've seen of the gameplay wise, it looks fine. Like the game looks fine,
and people that big fans of the Mass Effect series actually really like it. See, I've never really played them that much, but people really seem to like it.
I think it's more the people that sit on the outside and aren't really fans of the series are doing the complaining more than the people that are diehard fans.
I think so too. People just like to complain, and people like to hear people complain.
Yep.
So I mean, I think that's what it is, and it sucks for the people that worked on the game. But overall, they still got to be proud because it's a pretty good game from what I hear, and people really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just some people are going to complain about that something stupid like that.
That's just the way it goes. People feed on drama, and any drama that's going on, it's like spreads like wildfire. So that's what happens. That kind of moves me into a little thing I was thinking about. You were talking about earlier with the Philip DeFranco thing. What were you saying about that?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
I thought it'd be good to talk about that.
Yeah, and that's a good segue because it kind of has the same thing. Philip DeFranco, if you don't know, is like a vlogger, I guess is what his YouTube channel is.
One of the biggest. He's one of the biggest.
And I don't really watch them that much, but I was laying in bed and my girlfriend Alexis was like, "Hey, check this out," because we just got done watching the Dave Chappelle new stand-up on Netflix. If you haven't, Cody's not a big fan of Dave Chappelle, but I'm telling you, you should watch it. It's funny, but he's really funny, and it's like his comeback, his thing he's putting out there, and it's really good. Well, Phil DeFranco made a video on it, and the reason why Alexis wanted me to watch it is because it says Dave Chappelle under fire and has a big picture of Dave Chappelle, like, looking like he's surprised and all this stuff. And you get on there, and for whatever reason, it had a picture of Donald Trump on the thumbnail. Now tell me if that's not clickbait.
Yeah, a little clickbait.
So we watched the video, and the thing he's making a big deal about, and let me say this, I went and looked, and nobody else gives a shit enough to be like, that took these two jokes seriously. But this Philip DeFranco YouTuber decided like, oh, people will click on this because a lot of people watching it right now. It's trending. So he tried to make a big deal about it to get fucking views and get people to click on his shit.
It's creating drama for the sake of views. And drama that's not there.
Yeah, and what it was he made two jokes about. He made a joke about a gay guy and a joke about a transgender person. Okay, and it's a touchy subject in this day and age, right? But at the same time, he's known to support people like that fully. And after the joke, he made sure everybody knew it was a joke and apologized for it. And it was in good taste. It wasn't something really degrading. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was a good taste joke. But anyway, Phil DeFranco took that and like tried to run with it and try to get people to go in there. And like you look at the comments and people are saying like everybody knows he didn't mean it like that. He we wasn't trying to degrade people and shit. And it's just, but at the same time, that's still getting people. Even if somebody goes on there like me that totally disagrees and knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, we clicked the video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even people that are just going on there to call him on his bullshit, or at least clicking the video and watching some of it. So I mean, it sucks that it's come to the people doing that.
Yeah, it's literally like with a lot of these bigger channels that report on news and things like that and gossip and drama. It's like they go on news sites and they just scroll and scroll and scroll until something kind of makes something that they can get a click on. And I think for the most part, from what you're saying, that nobody really cared about it. It's more or less he was creating some sort of drama to try and spark more traffic to his channel. And I guess you could say that that's like, I guess the norm, but it's sketchy. It's really sketchy. I don't like the fact that people can't get clicks and views on their own merits. They have to rely on clickbait and they have to rely on drama and things like that,
And the way I looked at it too was I felt like he was the one taking advantage of that community. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because for the most part, I'm sure there's some people that it hurt. I'm sure because more people are more sensitive than others. I understand that. So probably some people didn't like the joke, didn't think it was funny.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, that's a small group in comparison.
Right.
Because in the nobody was reporting it in the news that people were upset. Nobody was complaining. It hadn't went big besides him trying to make drama out of it.
Right.
So at the time, it's like I feel like he was taking advantage of them, thinking like, oh, they'll click on this, and this is a big, we're a big craze right now, trying to get them equal rights.
Yeah.
I mean, that's shit. That's shitty.
Yeah. I mean, Philip DeFranco's come under fire for a lot of things before, and I'm pretty sure probably this kind of thing before. But he's one of the bigger ones out there, so I don't think I don't think it really matters in the long run for him.
Yeah.
He's just going for give me that money. But I hope that eventually, maybe people will finally see that we don't have to. If you're talented enough, you don't have to rely on clickbait and stuff like that. You don't have to put titles with some words capitalized in all capitals and in other words not. You don't have to put titties in the thumbnail, things like that. It doesn't have to happen that way because you can be good based on your talents.
Yeah, and the thing that's one more thing about that is I mentioned that he had Donald Trump also in the thumbnail. He didn't talk about Donald Trump at all.
Yeah, but it's just a picture,
right?
Because he's in the popular media,
right? It's
just something to get people to be like, oh, well, it's Donald Trump in that picture. Let me click on that real quick and find out. And then there's nothing about it. It goes nowhere. It sucks. It sucks really bad. But I don't know. We got off of the gaming subject a lot, but I want to talk about bring it back to gaming for a little bit longer because we just actually finished up last week playthrough of Metal Slug 1, and we just finished earlier today a playthrough of Metal Slug 2, and those classic side scrollers, man. Like, what happened? What's happened to the side scroller? Because it's one of the game genres that was huge. It was one of the biggest, if not the biggest genre. Throughout the 80s and even throughout the 90s, not until the N64 and the PlayStation came along where 3D games became a thing, did the puzzle platformer take over. But it seems like, for the most part, since, I don't know, 95, we've lost the side-scrolling genre as a big-name player in the game.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a part of it is, like we were talking about people that play games just for graphics or, younger people. Like, I'm not saying all younger people because I'm sure there's some younger people out there that love playing older games like that and like side-scroller games and that sort of thing. But I mean, a lot of younger people, for as in general, they expect graphics, really good graphics, right?
Right.
And side-scrolling is more about, having fun and like,
the challenge.
Yeah, the challenge of it, So maybe it's not up their alley, but I still think there's a good group of people that they could market a good side scroller to.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so I don't know
the older gamers for a big audience. I think it's more based on an older audience for side scrollers because they grew up with them. In the 80s, whenever the NES was big, you had a side scroller out every week. It seemed like,
and maybe it wouldn't be something though like they spend most of their time in, like, but it'd still be like something awesome. Like I'd love to for them to have side scrollers where when I'm done playing like Halo or for the day or whatever, I'm like I want to have something. I want to have fun playing something for a few. Yeah, go and play a side scroller. I still think there'd be a good amount of playtime in that.
Oh yeah, I think if somebody came through and made something, put some time into a side scroller and put it out there with that had solid gameplay, a decent amount of challenge, and it had good colors to appeal. I think they could hit it out of the park, and a lot of the indie developers do those things, but they don't get enough exposure.
Yeah.
Is the problem. So a lot of things go unnoticed. You get things like Assassin's Creed Chronicles, which are side scrollers. They're kind of hybrids though. They're kind of like 3D-ish side scrollers, but they're pretty freaking good for the most part. They're challenging, but they're not brutal to the point where you can't finish it. But what if we had a Castlevania game go back to just being what it used to be? Just straight up side scrolling action. That'd be good stuff. And I think a lot of these big publishers like Capcom and I guess Konami's out of the game now, but like Namco and things, they could all spend time with a small development team, make a really good side scroller or a really good even any of those older style things, like a good puzzle game. You don't get very many puzzle games coming out these days. So I think a lot of the genres that were popular in the 80s and 90s are really dying off now, giving way to more FPSs and open world games. Open world games and zombie survival games are freaking flooding the market right now.
Yeah, I think it's no doubt due to the downfall of like arcades and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and I'm sure that's a big, and like the home console game completely changed it. But I mean, I honestly think if like a big publisher decided to put time into a side scrolling game, and it had to be if it's a big publisher, they would be able to get it to people. People get eyes on it. People would actually enjoy it, and I think they'd have success with it. I mean, it's not going to knock Call of Duty or Halo or whatever, Skyrim off the fucking off the map, but
No.
it's still gonna be a success. But I wish they would, because you can have a lot of fun. You can do a lot of goofy fun stuff with a side scroller.
Let's look back at let's look at Metal Slug that we played today. Metal Slug that we played last week. The game was developed in '96, so I guess it was after, but it was in the arcade.
Yeah,
and for the Neo Geo, which is it's an arcade system, but they made it home available in the homes as well. But it was crazy expensive. So now to get like physical copies of the original things are like way expensive, like hundreds of dollars per game.
Wow.
So, but when you're looking at something like that, like we had a blast, and they take like an hour to finish. So it's something that's going to invest a ton of time in. If you have a little bit of time to kill, in between your classes at school, or you're waiting on clothes to dry to go to work, you can pop something in and play that, and it's something that you can finish in an hour, and it's a good co-op experience. Side scrollers are really good co-op experiences. I've noticed it's something that's not there. It's on one screen. There's not that much going on, unless you're like bullet hell shooters like we had with Metal Slug. But they're just, I don't know, they're not a dead genre, but it's a fast dying genre that I think is, it's all but gone. You might get 5 a year that are decent enough to play.
Yeah. I wish, like I said, I wish a big publisher would actually put one out to where people would play it, because, I mean, they're a lot of fun. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. And they're usually challenging, so I mean that's fun in that way. But it's also like Metal Slug series. I mean, that we just got done with the second game, and like it's pretty drastic change from the first to the second.
Yeah, a lot more stuff going on.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil our videos or whatever, but there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of goofy stuff happening, a lot of fun stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do with them, and I wish somebody would just put the effort and money in just to take a chance and see how one would do, because I think it would do okay.
Yeah. So let's, I guess, talking off Metal Slug, what have you spent your time playing this week that we've not played, I guess, for the channel?
Honestly, I've had Skyrim remastered since it came out, pretty much, and I played it for like 5 minutes when I first got it, and then didn't play it. And I don't know if it was because of us playing Zelda that made me want to play like another like RPG style game, but I popped Skyrim in, and that's all I've been doing, man. Suck me back in, because you know how Skyrim does.
Oh yeah,
that game will suck you in. You fucking you'll wake up in like out of a coma state 5 months later, and be like, what the hell happened to my life?
Yeah.
But I've been playing it every single chance I get. So that's really been sucking me in. I've been playing. I've been having a really good time with it.
To you, with the remastered came out, what was that, back in October? I want to say it came out in October.
It's around then. Yeah, it was around then.
How do you think it holds up compared to the old one? Do you think they improved on much, like as far as game style goes? Because I have my opinions too, because I got it at launch.
I think they did a better job of like, okay, so it might just be the system too. Of course, it's on the Xbox One now, and it was on the 360 when the original Skyrim. But like the thing that killed me on the 360 was the load screens. Fucking took forever.
Right.
And that's one thing that fucking killed me. I got to the point and it might have been, because of the system. I think it was because as I was filling up my hard drive with saves, because Skyrim's terrible on your fucking hard drives. It'll auto save every damn time you walk out a door.
Yeah.
But like once it started filling up, it would take forever. I mean, it seriously, like back on the 360, it would seriously take like 3 or 4 minutes to get to a damn load screen to walk into a city. So that's why I quit playing it. But I haven't noticed that at all in the Xbox One version. Yeah. So I mean, whether they did something in the game on the remastered version to help, or it's the system, or both.
Yeah, it's probably the hardware for the most part.
It's a lot better. I like that they got all the DLC on it.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was a cool idea.
I get to play all that because I had like one of the DLCs. I think my brother had it, and I got to play it a little bit, but I didn't get to. I didn't spend the money on the rest of it because, like I said, I quit playing it because it wouldn't fucking load hardly at all.
Yeah. It has to be said that on the 360, Skyrim was a huge undertaking. Like nothing had been done on that scale before.
Yeah.
And I think it probably pushed the hardware as far as you probably could have pushed it. And they did have to have some drawbacks, but with the Xbox One, it's better hardware. So you can do a lot more with it. One thing that I thought that they could have probably went in and changed a little bit on, but they didn't. It doesn't seem, I don't know. It doesn't seem smooth to me, the gameplay. Like the hand-to-hand combat doesn't seem smooth to me. I don't like it.
I don't know. I love that's one of my favorite parts about it.
Really?
Yeah. I love the fighting style like that. I love how you can go third person, first person. I don't know. Maybe you're just not used to it or something. It does take some getting used to it for sure.
Well, I think it's more of the delay than anything. When you pull your trigger to hit with the weapon, it takes a second.
Yeah, but I mean,
to attack, and it's something that I think that could have been fixed, but they didn't fix that.
Well, I think it's in there, like the delays in there because it's trying to be more realistic. Because it's like somebody's drawing back and like swinging instead of like a gun. Do we just shoot it and like realistically the person would just have to pull the trigger? Yeah, it's like you have they have the animations where they swing the sword back or whatever your weapon you're using. Yeah, and they kind of treat it like it's a little more realistic. But I mean, it's definitely some getting used to. But that's one of my favorite parts is that sort of thing,
right?
Because that's something that most people hadn't seen. Of course, the older Elder Scrolls game had the same thing, but Skyrim got a lot more people playing it besides just Elder Scroll fans.
Oh yeah.
So it's for the most part, it's the first time people saw something like that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it was good. It was good. I didn't keep it very long. I forget what I traded for. I feel like I might have traded it for a Call of Duty, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's been a while back. But I thought it was weird that they chose not to take a lot of the bugs out that they knew about from the 360. They just kind of left them in.
And I don't know if they put so much effort into putting the DLC on and making sure, like, putting things together right for the disc. It makes me feel like they left them in there just so people can exploit them if they know about them.
Right.
Because, why wouldn't you fix them? You know what I mean? If you're going to purposely try to make it the way you can't do it. Right. So there's like the, get the 100 sneak and stuff right at the beginning when you're talking to the Graybeards, and there's the White Run chest thing still works.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't bother me so much. Like, maybe they wanted people to that can use it, I guess.
Yeah. The mods though, man. Did you try the mods?
I haven't used the mods yet at all. I think I want to make another profile besides the one I'm doing regularly to try the mods out. Because
the mods will mess your game up. I know sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to do
it. Which
is
weird. It's weird it's not something that's shoehorned in. Like the developers, Bethesda made it that way.
I think
so. Why would they? Like, I don't know if it's probably hard. I don't know, because you are altering game code. To put those things in, so maybe it's just a side effect. Maybe it just makes it unstable, and there's nothing you can really do.
I think there's a couple. There's certain ones that have a good probability, might mess your shit up. There's some of them that people don't have a trouble with at all. Like one I thought about turning on before I started my main account was the loads. There's actually a mod that makes no load screens when you get in and out of cities. Yeah. And I thought, man, well, I fucking hated that shit. Used to hate that shit, so I'm gonna put it on. But I didn't. I was afraid it was gonna mess it up, and I know I didn't want to invest fucking 300 hours into this account, and then one day it just fucks up because I had the mod turned on.
Yeah, you need to put on the backwards flying Macho Man Randy Savage dragons, dude. That's the best.
Well, I'm gonna make a second account so I can go in there and dick around with the mods. But
yeah, I would hope that it wouldn't mess something up with your main account though.
Yeah, I mean, I have. If I have to, I'll just sign into one of my other Xbox accounts and do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, Skyrim, they got it right with Skyrim with the mods because they brought them out really close after launch. I think Fallout messed themselves over by releasing that long from release. I think it was a few months, and Evan, he said that all the luster of the game was gone. Yeah. Messed with the mods for a couple weeks and then it was done again. So I think Bethesda releasing those mods, even if they do make it unstable, it's a side effect. I'm pretty sure it's not something that can be fixed.
Yeah.
But it is cool that they make some cool stuff. You know, taking load screens out is awesome. There's also like I saw that there was a mod that puts music from the older Elder Scrolls games in there.
That's pretty cool.
So you can listen to stuff from like Morrowind and stuff like that. So that's really cool. But I guess what I've been playing for the most part, I reinstalled Destiny. I started playing it a little bit. I played it a tiny bit by myself. I'm not really much for doing the story by myself. It's kind of boring and it's difficult. It's almost impossible by yourself. But I've been playing a lot of the Crucible free for all because it's team death, or it's not team deathmatch. It's just straight up deathmatch. But I've been playing Halo a little bit as well. But I've been putting most of my time into Bomberman on the Switch. I freaking love Bomberman, and I didn't realize how much I loved Bomberman until I got it on the Switch. A lot of people have been complaining about the Switch Bomberman because it's really generic, I guess, and I don't really understand the argument because there's not really anything they can do with Bomberman that hasn't been done already. I mean, they could probably put in new power-ups and stuff like that, but I don't think they wanted to detach so far from the core series because they did that. If you look at what was the game called, Bomberman Zero on the 360, it is like a third person Bomberman, like really dark, and it's like all metally and stuff. Like it's scary, honestly. Like it's
heavy metal.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird. Like it's a really weird game. Check out some gameplay if you haven't, if you've never heard of it. But it failed miserably. The last time that you can enjoy Bomberman just straight up the way that everybody likes it, from way back when it was back on the NES, is Bomberman Live on the Xbox 360 arcade. You can play it on there, but the community's dead. Nobody's on there because everybody's moved on to the Xbox One, and passed it up. So there's not been very many Bomberman games. They're really few and far between. But they brought this one on the Switch, Super Bomberman R, and it's freaking fantastic. If you have a Switch and you haven't bought it, I recommend buying it. That and Zelda make the Switch 100% worth it. I've been playing a little bit of Zelda. I have to admit, I've been playing a little bit of Zelda off camera on a second account. Well, I guess it's a second account. It's just a previous save. I've not been really progressing the story, but I've been going back on older saves and kind of exploring just to kind of get my bearings on the world a little bit better. Finding some stuff out. I've been watching a lot of videos on Breath of the Wild 2. Like I found a way to get the Master Shield. Is that what it's called?
The Hylian Shield.
The Hylian Shield.
I watched the same. Did you watch the IGN video?
No, this is a different guy, but it's a way to get it like really quickly.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It kind of sucks that stuff like that is degradable. Like I wish it wasn't degradable.
You can get it back though.
Yeah, you just have to keep getting it. And the guy was talking about in the video that there's even a way to build, like when you build your city up, and you completely have it, all the way built, that somebody can like recharge it for you or rebuild it for you.
It's there's like a traveling salesman that like make his home, I guess, in the after you help rebuild a town,
right?
And he sells unique armor or whatever, and it's always stuff that you like, rare armor that you've had and it's like degraded and it's gone. Yeah. You can buy it back.
Yeah, so that's really cool. I'm excited. I wish with those videos, man, I just want to play longer episodes, but I'm worried that like that might be too much for people to watch.
I sometimes I feel like, and the thing is, about the Zelda episodes, and the series is going really good, and like we're really having a lot of fun playing it. And that game, I'm sure if you guys have played it yourselves, that game sucks you in. You don't want to stop playing it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of traveling in it. Especially in the part that we're in right now, because we don't have all the fast travel locations unlocked. So and I feel like we have longer episodes, and then I think maybe they could be cut down. But the thing is, if we cut them down, then it's just going to be us like traveling to a town, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem I'm having now. Like we do an episode, and it's just us getting from point A to point B.
Yeah, which you guys. I'm sure some of you guys wouldn't care. You'd listen to us just bullshit and talk random shit like we do when we're doing that.
Right.
But for our sake, we want something to be happening in the episode, every episode. So maybe we kind of talked a little bit about last time we recorded Zelda. We talked a little bit about maybe recording a little longer and then cutting it down, I guess. But the only thing
Yeah.
sucks, I mean, that makes it hard editing wise. And Cody's editing the Zelda series, so that makes it harder on you to edit.
Right.
It's more you got to watch, figure out what we need to cut down. But I don't know, we'll figure something out. I'm sure it will be a lot better once we get the fast travel locations unlocked, most of them. Because then, there's not as much traveling. So I think it'll be okay, but
yeah, it's all just once we get into it, once we get the fast travel going, where we don't have to run from point A to point B and take 20 minutes to do that, I think we'll be in a better situation with that game. But yeah, as far as that's all I've really been playing. I play the Rocket League a lot. When I get bored, I just pop Rocket League.
Always hop on. Rocket League's a good one to play when you don't have much time, but you want to do something. Or like I played a lot actually, and I don't know why, but I'm getting pretty good at it. But I almost play it as if like I'm not paying as much attention to it as I probably should be. Like, I'll be like watching a YouTube video and playing at the same time, and I'll still do good. So maybe it's just me not thinking and just using my hands are remembering what to do, I guess. But like I'm like glancing up at the screen back and forth, and I'll still be winning. But Rocket League's a lot of fun. I wish we had like another person to play with us on the regular, so we can play the 3v3s.
Yeah, it's one of those games I thought would kind of lose its luster with me.
Die down. Yeah,
but it's become bigger than ever, and it's getting bigger and bigger within popularity every day. There's a meta to it with the flying and stuff, and I think a lot of people have been spending their time mastering that. But for me, I just really like playing it when I want to kill time or when I'm playing kind of by myself. I don't have anybody else to talk to. Just jump on there, throw something on TV, and play some Rocket League.
Yeah, or if we've been playing like Halo for 4 hours, and we're like, let's play something else, and we always jump on Rocket League and play.
Yeah, and it's always a blast. I always have a hell of a lot of fun with it. Let's talk about TV, man. I dove in to the second season of Gotham. Some shit went down. A lot of shit went down. Like, it is fucking crazy. But some new characters got introduced. Some characters got killed off. Character I thought would never get killed off did get killed off. And it freaked me out. It's weird with that show because they bring iconic characters in, and you kind of have to figure out who they are. You try. It's like kind of like a game. You want to figure out who they are before they kind of announce who they are. So like there was a kid in the middle of season 1 that the episode was about him killing his mom, and he gets put in jail. He's a redheaded kid, but he gets put in jail in Arkham, and you never see him. You never see him again. And then in season 2, he comes back. Like, he gets broken out of Arkham Asylum, and turns out he's a Joker.
Oh, wow.
But what's crazy is that same episode they freaking killed him. Like, he's dead. Like, it's like they bring in these huge characters. They're there for 2 episodes, and then they freaking kill him. Like,
it's crazy.
It's crazy how they fire so quickly. It's like it's an insane show. I'm hoping that people that are listening to this that haven't given it a shot are going to give it a shot, because I can't speak any higher for it. It's easily probably in my top 3 shows of all time. That coming from a Marvel fanboy. It's really freaking good. But what have you been watching?
Well, I've been like the show last week that I talked the most about, Hap and Leonard. They started their new season, and I've got to watch the first 2 episodes of it, and it's really good. It's still really good. I was kind of worried about because how the first one ended. It was like always something was happening. It was really dramatic all the time. You never knew what was going to happen in the first season. So I thought there's no way they're going to continue that. But they went a totally different direction. It's just as good, if not better, the storyline so far. So if you haven't watched that one, you guys should check it out. The first season's on Netflix, so you can give it a watch. But it's pretty damn good. I mean, other than that, I've been watching. I'll sit down and watch. Sometimes like when I'm just sitting there, I'll watch like an episode of X-Files or whatever. Because we got like 4 or 5 shows. We just continue like switch off and watch an episode there, watch an episode here. But besides that, I haven't really had that much time to watch stuff, which is weird because I should, because I'm on spring break from college. So you think I'd have more time to do shit like that, but I haven't been. Honestly, what's happened. I've been playing Skyrim too much. That's what's happened.
You're freaking engulfed in that crap.
Besides that, the only thing I really have been watching is YouTube. I just, I got my set YouTubers I watch. I just watch them every day, and then I'll, when I'm not playing Skyrim, I'll try to watch something else.
Yeah, I wish I was kind of like that. Like I can't watch multiple shows at one time. I have to like I have like I have a one main series that I watch, and then I'll alternate with like Bob's Burgers or something like that just to kill the time, like when I'm laying in bed or something. But I get really addicted to shows, and I want to watch them all in a row. So I did the same thing with Seinfeld. Like I got addicted to Seinfeld. Didn't think I would ever be addicted to Seinfeld. Freaking fell in love with it. Had to watch every episode. And the only thing I watched other than that was like Bob's Burgers until I finished it. And that's how I've always been. Like I never watch multiple shows at one time.
See, I'm like that too, except I get to a point to where I'm like, I don't want to watch them all. Like it's like I don't want it to end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like okay, my favorite show of all time is Breaking Bad. Okay, I watched like up until the last like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
In like a fucking 3 month span, like just every day watch, and then I stopped, and it took me like a fucking year to finish it because I didn't want, and it was kind of dangerous because I could have saw spoilers. So luckily I didn't. I would have been so pissed off if I did. But I do that with every show. I don't want it to end, so I did the same things with Son of Anarchy, and I've never even watched the ends of Sons of Anarchy because people ruined it for me, spoiled it for me. So I was like, well, fuck it, I'm not gonna watch it then if I already know what's gonna happen. But I do. Right. I kind of do it with every show. Like we were watching a lot of House of Cards. I never thought I was gonna like House of Cards, and Alexis, my girlfriend, and I have been watching House of Cards, or we was watching House of Cards. We stopped watching it because I get in moods where I'm like, I want to watch, and then I'll be like, well, I don't want to watch them all, so let's take it slow, and I'll switch to a different show. Right. I do that. I do that a lot for some reason. Yeah. I think it's just because I don't want it to end. I mean, because there's a lot of shows that like I've watched all of them. Like it's dangerous to watch Netflix shows too because like old shows that just are on Netflix.
Yeah.
Because you never know if it if it fucking ended at a cliffhanger, if it got canceled or whatever. Like there's shows like Lie to Me. That's a really good show on Netflix. I watched all those. Was really fucking into it.
Really.
And then I figured out it got fucking canceled fucking years ago. So
yeah.
And left on a cliffhanger. The Glades. That's a fucking great show. That's on Netflix now. It used to be on A&E. It fucking ended at a cliffhanger. And I watched all those. I've watched all those like 3 or 4 times.
Right.
But I mean, there's all kinds. It's just shit like that, man. I get scared that I'm gonna like watch them all and it's gonna be gone, so I stop watching.
See, my problem is I'll go on Netflix, like I'm doing with Gotham. Go on Netflix, I binge watch 2 seasons. Like they got 2 seasons on Netflix. So then what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go to Hulu and I'm gonna look for season 3. If it's not on there, I'm gonna be pissed off because I know because it's still in season 3 right now. Like they're still putting episodes out. Actually, it's kind of like it's weird how. Fox does their series. They do half a season and then they break for like a few months and then they come back and finish that season off.
That's weird.
So they're about to start back up. They do that with Sleepy Hollow too, and I fucking hate it because like Sleepy Hollow is my number one favorite show of all time, easily my number one favorite show of all time. And they do it every time, and it kills me, man. Because I just want to watch it all, and I have a bad habit of watching everything. Like I'll watch a whole season in a couple days, but then you just gotta have that next thing to go to. So you kind of have to plan it out. That you're like, okay, when I finish this one, I'm gonna go to this one, so I don't have to withdraw from the last one.
Yeah.
So then you get lucky sometimes, and you find those series that you like. Like, I'm not much of I don't know. I don't want to say I'm not a fan of it, but I just don't watch it. But like you need those series like Law and Order SVU where they got like 500 fucking episodes and you just want to watch, like you can always go and watch it because the chance of you watching 500 hours of TV in a year is really slim.
Yeah.
Of one show anyways. But I wanted to start House. I watched House about the third of the way in. And kind of dropped off of it, but I kind of want to get back on that one. So I think after I finish Gotham, if they don't have season 3 on Hulu, and there's no real hope of seeing it on Netflix at least for another few months, then I'll probably start House back up again. TV, man, it's like Netflix. Fuck Netflix for being so damn awesome. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, it'll suck you in, dude. Spend all your time watching shit.
Yeah, let's talk about something that I noticed on YouTube. I was watching YouTube because I've been jumping back. I watch a guy named James Rolfe. He's the Angry Video Game Nerd on YouTube. One of my favorite YouTubers. One of the longest YouTubers that I've ever followed. I've been watching that, but I was watching one of those videos and I kind of just let it play. And it showed the trailer to a movie called The Thinning, which is a YouTube Red exclusive movie. I guess it released in October. I thought it hadn't released yet, but I guess it has. I looked it up and it has. But it's this movie basically where we're kind of overpopulated as an Earth. You know, as the Earth goes, and you know, more and more people have babies, but you kind of have to get to a point where you don't. You know, you have to control it, I guess. And the only way that they can figure out in the movie to control it, based on the trailer, I've not watched the movie myself, but based on the trailer, is they have to take these aptitude tests. The kids have to take tests to determine if they are worthy enough to live, basically. And then if they're not, if they fail the test, they get exterminated. So I watched the trailer all the way through, and I usually press skip on everything, but for some reason I just didn't press skip, and it seemed like a pretty cool concept, and I want to see if I can find it somewhere else. Otherwise, I'll probably wait until they release that TV function for YouTube Red, and I'll buy YouTube Red at that point, and then I'll watch it to check it out. But it has this guy, Logan Paul, and you were telling me that he's like a Viner.
Yeah, he was a Viner. Well, before they shut it down, but that's how he was popular. And I always heard too that he went to school in at Ohio University, which is not very far from us.
Right.
But yeah, I always heard he was from there. But yeah, that's how he's famous. Which is crazy that he started just doing bullshit vines, and now he's like super fucking famous. Like he has like videos out with. He has one with Kevin Hart. He has a video out with The Rock. Like, he's just getting to meet all kinds of cool people because he just fucking made vines at one point.
Right. So, but anyways, the Thinning, like, I think it's a horrible movie title. Like, they could have come up with something better.
Yeah, it sounds
like, that's
pretty
a
shitty.
garbage movie title. But the idea of the movie is really intriguing. But they find out, the two main characters find out that the test is rigged, and that then they get trapped in the school because they're supposed to be getting killed, but they find their way out. And they basically, they have to get out of the school in order to spread the word that that the tests are rigged, that they're choosing who they want to kill, basically.
Yeah.
And I haven't, it doesn't really tell you in the trailer, but on the Wikipedia page, anyways, it says eventually they have to make the ultimate sacrifice, and it almost tells me that, like, at the end they're both going to get killed. Or they're both going to die. And it's scary. Like, it makes me want to watch it more. And I want to find it because it seems like it could be a really sick movie. Like, I really want to check it out. And it's crazy that, and Lionsgate made it, so they're pretty big. They're a pretty big studio. So
yeah.
I think it could be a really decent movie. But you got to have YouTube Red to watch it. Well, maybe when they release this YouTube TV thing, it'll actually be worth it to have it. Any movies that you've been watching? Anything? Any kind of movies?
Not really. I haven't watched many movies. Recently. One I want to see is, and it's coming out in theaters, is that Chips movie. It looks pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, Dax Shepard bringing it back for another run on the big screen, man.
Yeah. So
Dax Shepard's the fucking man.
Yeah. I really want to see that. It looks pretty good. Other than that, I don't know any movies coming out that I really want to see. You probably want to watch a Power Rangers movie, don't you?
No, not really. I mean, it's probably good, honestly. I was like a Power Rangers fan for a tiny bit, but it was about the time the Animorphs came out, and I liked Animorphs a lot better. Like, I thought it was so much cooler.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I watched Power Rangers as a kid. I don't remember watching it really, but I'm sure I did. Because it's one of those cartoons right when I was growing up that was, it's huge.
Yeah. Now my mom says that I was a pretty big Power Rangers fan, but it was before I could remember. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah. I don't remember back that far.
Yeah, like, I don't remember it either, really. So, but I mean, I'm not gonna go to the theater and watch it. But if it's if it's somewhere where I can, like, order it on my TV or something, say it's on Amazon Video and I can buy it on there or something.
Right.
I mean, I might watch it. I'd watch it. I would not watch it, but I'm not gonna, like, go seek it out in the movie theater.
Sure. Yeah. Same with me. 1 month ago, two gentlemen set out with a quest to deliver the good people of YouTube quality videos.
Yeah, the crap content.
quality content at a free price. And as of the 22nd of March, it's been 31 days. 1 full month for the Juicebox Heroes here on YouTube. How crazy is that?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It sucks it didn't land on Saturday.
Yeah,
oh well.
That would have been nice. But it's okay.
Yeah, but 1 month, man. 1 month, I think we are up to 36 videos, something like that. It's crazy. It's really crazy. I didn't think in a month we'd get as much support as we've gotten. It's been really awesome. I'm really excited. I've been really excited this whole month. It took us a little bit. The start was a little rocky. We had to get everything figured out with how to run the YouTube channel. We really didn't know. We really underestimated how much work it would have been. But we finally fallen into a groove. It seems like we're pretty much taking it by the horns now. We got a hold of it. I don't think we have any issues nowadays with the old channel.
No, and now if we do have an issue, then we got we're smart enough to keep backup videos already recorded. So, So now, so we solved a lot of problems. I mean, it was rocky, like you said, it was rocky at first, but
we got it.
We're good now. Smooth sailing. We're excited to keep going. Yeah, excited to keep making content.
I guess that brings about the struggle of the first 100 subs.
Yeah, the struggle.
As much as I don't really care, how many subs we end up with. I always want it to keep growing, obviously.
Yeah.
But I just want to be able to have fun with it and entertain the people that are hanging out with us. Getting that first 100 subs means something to me, like as far as showing that I can do it, that we can do it as a team, we can make it happen. And I think at that point we become pretty established, in my eyes anyways. So getting that first 100 is a big milestone. And when you're lower in the subscriber numbers, everyone that unsubscribes is like a personal bullet to the chest.
Yeah, it's like you just fucking hit it right there in the chest, which, I mean, I don't know. I think the way I see it is, we're gonna people like there's a solid group of you guys that watch every day. So, and we're super grateful for that. I mean, we end up averaging 30 views like after one day of it being up, which is pretty good for just starting out. We're just a month into it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, every time something happens like that, it's just like it hits you right in the heart.
Yeah, because you go to sleep with 46 subs, you wake up with 43, man. Like it sucks. It really does. And it might be something, that maybe YouTube is purging channels or something. You never know. Or maybe people just don't enjoy the stuff. They like the video, but then they don't like the next one you put out, so they unsubscribe.
Which is fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Because go where you want.
Because eventually we're going to find, like you guys, a solid group that are staying with us and been watching every day. We're going to find more people like us, like you guys, that are going to enjoy the same shit, have the same sense of humor, and like watching us play stuff and liking the content. So it's okay. I'd rather not have people here that don't want to be subscribed.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you never know what it is. It might be YouTube messing up. Because the thing is, you don't really notice it when you actually have a bigger number of subscribers, where we're trying to make, we're trying to even make like the first 50 right now. Like we notice everyone now, because we're so low in it. You know what I mean? So that's I think that's the reason why it hurts so much, is because you personally just think of the person going, "Oh, fuck these guys," and hitting unsubscribe.
Fuck those fucking dicks.
But you don't. But in reality, we don't know what's going on. It might be a spam channel that's subscribed, and YouTube might be kicking them off or whatever. You know what I mean? You don't know.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. When you're lower down, you're looking at those numbers, and you don't want to. You want to keep away from it. You want to focus on the content, and for the most part, we do. But at the same time, when I'm uploading a video, you have to click Creator Studio pretty much every time.
Yeah,
and it shows your subscriber number right there in your face. But the view counts are doing really well on every video that we're putting out. Basically, I think the lowest thing that has probably the lowest is the podcast. But it's only trending like 3, maybe 5 views below every other video. So we're averaging at least 30 videos or 30 views on every video, which is awesome. It means that you guys are, really digging the stuff to watch it, at least for a little while it's fresh and new. That means a ton to us, honestly.
Yeah, and I know it's a lot to ask, and I hate asking this. I hate when YouTubers ask it. But if you really do enjoy the content, and you know somebody that watches YouTube that would, just mention it. You don't have to say hey, no, go right now and watch. You just mention it mention us to them.
Yeah, just spread the word out.
That would mean so much if you guys could do that. You guys that enjoy the content. Like if you got friends got the same sense of humor, or that watch YouTube, tell them to check us out. Or if they don't, then they don't. But we appreciate you just mention it to somebody.
Yeah, it means word of mouth is like the biggest contagion in the world. I found out about PewDiePie and things like that. And the Angry Video Game Nerd through friends. You know, Markiplier, I found him through a friend. Things like that. People that I watch on the regular, I found out basically because somebody told me about them. So I think word of mouth is a big factor in growth. So I like to push it a lot. So let's talk about what's coming up on the channel in the next week. We kind of know a couple of things that are coming up. Obviously, you're going to get your 2 Zelda Breath of the Wild videos like you normally do every week.
Yeah. Starting a new series, though. New series coming out.
Got ourselves a new series. A really fucking infuriating series.
Yeah.
But a good one nonetheless.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't remember how long the game. Do you remember how long the game is?
I don't know.
Are we going to be able to get a decent amount of episodes?
I mean, it'll probably be a 10-parter or more.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good game. It's a good game from our childhood. Should we tell?
Yeah, we'll tell them.
All right.
It's Conflict Desert Storm.
Yeah.
You guys probably don't. I mean,
some of you probably know it.
There's been a few of the Conflict games out there. There's Conflict Vietnam. There's Conflict something else. I don't remember. But Conflict Desert Storm is the one that I know the most. And we played on Xbox back in the day, and it's really good. It's awesome 2-player game. Really, really awesome 2-player game. But it's hard. It's way harder than I remember.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's this the GameCube version or probably just because we fucking suck. But you know, especially this, just expect some rage in the first episode.
Yeah, a little bit of rage in the first one, but we had fun with it anyways. I mean, it's a fun game. It's just one of those games that's really challenging. Yeah. And the fact that I think it's the fact we're a little bit at a disadvantage because we're playing on the GameCube. And that C stick is not meant for what we're using it for, as you know, a thumbstick on an Xbox controller would be. We have that coming up. We have Metal Slug.
Yeah, another Metal Slug game.
We should have another Metal Slug game coming up. Another podcast, like you guys always know. Saturday's the podcast day. We're hoping, we got our fingers crossed, big time, that we can figure out what's going on with the retro consoles, like the Genesis and things with my PVR. We got to get that thing figured out because that's we want to put out a Juicebox Battles #1, but I really am pushing for it. I really want it to be that World Championship Soccer 2.
Yeah,
I really want it to be that because that video, like that game, works so well, and I really want it to be it. So I'm hoping we can figure out what's going on.
We've tried to record it like what 2-3 times.
This is the third time we tried to record it.
Yeah, and it's always something different. We thought we had it figured out, and we did fix part of the problem. But then for whatever reason, I don't know if the PVR just doesn't like the bit rate we were trying to record at. That's what we're hoping for, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
That's what we're hoping. That was the reasoning. But you know, we're gonna try to figure it out. Eventually, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try to figure it out today to try to get our first Juicebox Battles because we just found that game randomly and it worked out really well.
Yeah, it turns out to be actually a really good game.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Pretty simple, pretty fun game. So we're gonna try to get it to work, but. We're going to try to start Juicebox Battles up, man.
Yeah,
get it going.
Hopefully I can come out with a big W.
Yeah, I doubt that.
I don't know about that.
You can kind
of... From the test footage, it seems like I'm a little bit better than you are.
I don't think so, dude. I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure you gave me all the marbles. And I ran with them. But, yeah, that's what's coming up on the channel. Let me know, too, because I was thinking about on the Zelda video, like, what if Zelda became, and this is just me throwing ideas around, but what if Zelda became a 1-time-a-week series, but the episode was like an hour long?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, like, for me to sit down and watch an hour-long episode of a YouTube, I don't do it very often. So I wouldn't expect other people to do it very often. That's the only thing.
But I don't know, you see like people like Peanut Butter Gamer and stuff that are doing like 45 an hour and a half long videos, and like people are watching them. So it's really kind of hard to judge.
I don't know. Like I don't know. It's just hard. It's hard to decide what the best format for that game is. It's a really good game, and we want to keep playing it regardless. We're going to keep the series going regardless. We're just trying to figure out what the best format to record it would be.
I think when it comes down to it, the editing load is just going to end up being a lot more.
Yeah.
Than it is right now. So, I mean that's the channel in a nutshell. What is this podcast numero 5?
5, yeah.
And we're rocking it, boys and girls. We're in this groove. And we're going to keep it rolling. I hope you guys are back, in the saddle for some more Juicebox videos. They're going to keep rolling out. I hope you guys still enjoy them. You keep enjoying them, telling your friends, telling your grandma. She probably sitting at home. She likes YouTube videos. She probably likes it. She seems like a cool motherfucker. Yeah. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that. Anyways, guys.
She's a gilf.
Yeah, a gilf. Yeah, and I'm a dilf, but I don't have a son or a daughter, so maybe one day I'll be a dilf. But for the time being, for podcast for the 24th of March, 2017, my name's Cody.
And I'm Parker.
And we're the Juicebox Heroes, and we're going to catch you motherfuckers next week in the next podcast.
Word to your mother.
Bitches.